Hi, and welcome back to our channel. This is Breanna's Medicare Minute, where we're going to talk about the second don't when it comes to your Medicare, and that's don't forget the prescription drug coverage. This is one area that Medicare will penalize you, and we often see people that thought, well, I'm not taking any medications, so I'm not going to add a prescription drug plan. I don't need prescription medication coverage. Well, unfortunately, this is one area that because Medicare will penalize you if you choose not to take prescription drug coverage when you go on to Medicare at 65 or lose your creditable coverage through an employer later on. This is an area that Medicare will penalize you, and that penalty is a lifetime penalty that they will assess for every month that you don't have prescription drug coverage. And if you choose not to add it when you first go on to Medicare at 65 or coming off of creditable coverage with a special election period, then the only time you'll be able to add it or change it for that matter would be during annual enrollment, which is October 15th through December 7th. So number one, we don't want you to assess any penalties. But number two, you do want to make sure that you have prescription drug coverage because you never know when something might happen. I had a gentleman who was diagnosed with cancer, and because of his cancer diagnosis, they wanted to put him on a medication. Well, he had chosen not to take a prescription drug plan. And because of that, his medication that retailed for about $10,000 a month, he was going to have to come up with those funds in order to pay for that medication until we could add prescription drug coverage for him that wouldn't be effective until January of the next year. So he went about 8 months without any prescription drug coverage and decided, unfortunately, not to take that medication that he really did need for his cancer because of the cost of that medication. And unfortunately, he fell into a tax bracket where he didn't qualify for any extra help for that medication outside of drug coverage. So this is just one example of where we've seen that this is something that can be an issue for you in the future. So definitely make sure that you have that prescription drug coverage. If you're not taking anything at all, take the cheapest one for now, because remember, you can always change it during annual enrollment, and annual enrollment runs every year from October 15th through December 7th. There are ways to get prescription drug coverage for no cost or low cost, and then they have plans that are high cost. So really choose the drug plan that makes the most sense for you based on the medications you're taking, and then we can always adjust that later on as your needs change. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. Remember, don't number 2 is don't forget the prescription drug coverage. Make sure that you have that. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you for listening to Breanna's Medicare Minute, where we are unconfusing Medicare 1 minute at a time.